Chicago, a city made up of neighborhoods that can feel like completely different worlds depending on what side of the street you're standing on. And on the southwest side sits Little Village, a neighborhood filled with families, businesses, culture, and generations of people who call these blocks home. But Little Village has also lived through decades of gang conflict. And during the middle of the 2010s, prosecutors say one young man became deeply involved in that world. His name was Lamar Baker. Baker wasn't even 21 years old when prosecutors publicly described him with the word normally reserved for somebody whose reputation had already been established: enforcer. According to Cook County prosecutors, Baker was associated with the Latin Kings, and before his 21st birthday, his name would become connected to multiple shootings, multiple murder cases, a wounded teenager, allegations of violence inside the Cook County jail, and one of the strangest sequences of criminal cases you'll hear about. Because Baker would be accused of murder, go to trial, walk out the courtroom with a not guilty verdict, and almost immediately find himself facing another murder case. This is a story of Lamar Baker, aka Two Times, and a violent period in Chicago that prosecutors allege left bodies, shell casings, and grieving families behind. To understand this story, you have to understand just how young Lamar Baker was. When some of the violence prosecutors connected him to began occurring, Baker was still a teenager. According to authorities, he was affiliated with the Latin Kings, one of Chicago's largest and oldest street gangs. Prosecutors would eventually go even further. By 2019, they weren't simply describing Baker as a gang member. They called him an alleged enforcer. That's important, because an enforcer isn't being described as somebody simply standing on the corner. The allegation suggests someone prosecutors believe was willing to use violence on behalf of the organization. Whether every allegation against Baker could be proven in court would become an entirely different question. And that's why this story gets complicated, because there are things police believe, there are things prosecutors allege, and then there are things they can actually prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Those are not always the same thing, and Lamar Baker's case would demonstrate that in dramatic fashion. One of the earliest major cases publicly connected to Baker happened in Little Village. It was shortly after 5 p.m., January 25th, 2016. According to prosecutors and reporting at the time, Baker was traveling in a vehicle with two other men when they passed 19-year-old Hugo Gua with 17-year-old David Martinez wounded in that incident near the 3000 block of South Kedville Avenue. Authorities allege that the two groups represented rival gangs. According to prosecutors, gang signs were exchanged. The vehicle continued down the street, but instead of leaving, authorities said it came back. Prosecutors alleged Baker and the others circled the block before entering an alley. Baker allegedly got out, and instead of approaching the two young men directly, prosecutors said he positioned himself near the mouth of the alley and concealed himself in the bushes. Then he waited. According to prosecutors, Baker emerged with a firearm. The two victims attempted to run. Gunfire followed. Gua was struck in the back of the head. The 17-year-old was also shot in the back, but unlike Gua, the teenager kept moving. Wounded, he managed to reach a nearby fire station. Emergency personnel transported him to Mount Sinai Hospital, where his condition was stabilized. Hugo Gua never made it that far. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The prosecutors believe Lamar Baker was responsible, but an arrest didn't immediately follow. According to the reporting, months passed. Then prosecutors claimed something happened that would seem almost unbelievable considering the seriousness of the crime. They said Baker talked about it. Authorities alleged that in July of 2016, Baker admitted to a police officer that he had shot someone known as Casper because the person was a rival gang member. According to prosecutors, Casper was Hugo Gua's nickname. Yet Baker wasn't arrested on the murder charge until 2017, nearly a year after that alleged admission. And when he finally appeared in court, a judge ordered him held without bond. At that point, prosecutors believed they had their shooter. Pause, because this might actually be helpful. There's a banking app called Current with a bunch of useful features. and one of the main ones lets you access up to $750 of your paycheck early if you qualify. With Current, you get a full set of features like paycheck advance, fee-free overdraft, the bill card, and more. Now, paycheck advance is my favorite, but if you're focused on building credit or just want a smoother way to manage your money, it handles everything in one app. I actually like the app myself, which is why I partner with them. And right now, they're giving away $75 to anyone who signs up using my link or scans the QR code on the screen, Street Newz. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the sign-up page where you can create your account. Just go through the normal sign-up step, enter your information, and order your current card. After you complete these steps, you'll see the option pop up to enter my promo code, which unlocks a $75 bonus when you switch your direct deposit. So make sure you go through the full sign-up process so you don't miss it. If you ever feel like managing money is stressful or tight sometimes, it's definitely worth just checking out, because that's literally what it's designed for, helping people like you stay more on top of their finances. And now back to regular scheduled program. There was another homicide investigators would eventually connect to Baker, and this one happened only months after the January shooting, April 11, 2016, the 2800 block of South Kerrville Avenue, once again, Little Village. The victim was 37-year-old Arturo Pina. According to prosecutors, Baker and another alleged Latin king were driving around the neighborhood. Prosecutors claimed they weren't simply going somewhere. They were allegedly looking for rival gang members. Authorities said the group eventually spotted Pina walking. The driver allegedly entered an alley. Baker allegedly got out of the vehicle. From there, prosecutors said Baker moved through a gangway. Then the shooting started. Pina was hit repeatedly. Bullets struck him in multiple areas of his body, including his face, chest, shoulder, arm, and back. Police recovered 5 .40 caliber shell casings from the scene. Pina was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital. Doctors couldn't save him. He died several hours later. Another man was dead. Another family was grieving. And again, Baker wasn't immediately prosecuted for the killing. Years would pass before that case caught up with him, and what prosecutors later claimed Baker did after the shooting would become one of the most disturbing parts of their case. They alleged that he bragged about the killing on Facebook. Assistant State's Attorney James Murphy would later tell a judge that Baker allegedly posted photographs of the dead man and admitted the killing to other witnesses.
Go ahead. On photo, man. You know how they gotta show motherfuckers, man. It's 2023, man, on Gino, man. Motherfucker know what time it is, man. I've been gone 7 years on Gino, 7 long years to these niggas that hating on me, wish me bad, or wish me in jail on 4th grade, man. You know what the fuck?
Oh, fucks no.
I'll fuck y'all bitch. Oh, Lord, you know, I'll fuck y'all bitch on my bad day. On my bad day, I'm saying, Lord, you know, ain't shit missed it on 4th grade, I'll kick your bitch. Oh, 180 on Boston, Lord, you know, stop playing over you on cheap grade, man. Go get y'all bitch ass home, man. Pretty guy, man, you know what's going on, man. We love the bop, we love the top. Deals up to them niggas, man. I love my blood diamond. She already know what it is. Free the gang.
Prosecutors accused Baker of murder and attempted murder. The state believed Baker was responsible for gun violence involving alleged rival gang members. Baker faced the possibility of spending most, if not all, of his adult life behind bars. But this case will have a very different ending. Baker went to trial. The prosecution presented its case. The defense challenged it. And on May 2nd, 2019, Lamar Baker was acquitted of the murder and attempted murder charges. Baker had beaten the case. For somebody facing murder charges, May 2nd should have represented the moment the biggest threat to his freedom disappeared. Except Baker wasn't going home, because another case was already waiting. Imagine this situation. You've been sitting inside the Cook County Jail awaiting a murder trial. The government says you're a killer. Your freedom depends on the outcome. Then the verdict finally comes. Not guilty. For most defendants, that's the moment they start thinking about the front door, going home, seeing family, eating real food, sleeping in their own bed. But Lamar Baker had another problem. He was still being held on a separate allegation that he had attacked another man inside the Cook County Jail. And then something else happened. Baker was acquitted on May 2nd. On May 3rd, 2019, the very next day, an arrest warrant was issued for him in connection with the 2016 murder of Arturo Pina. Think about that timeline. May 2nd, not guilty. May 3rd, another murder warrant. The freedom Baker may have thought was approaching disappeared almost instantly. Less than 2 weeks later, prosecutors were standing in another courtroom describing Baker as an alleged Latin King's enforcer. And now they were telling the judge that they believed he had executed Arturo Pina years earlier. The state said it had witnesses. It claimed Baker had made admissions. The prosecutors alleged he had left behind something increasingly common in modern criminal investigations: a digital trail. For decades, detectives investigating gang murders depended heavily on physical evidence: fingerprints, weapons, shell casings, eyewitnesses, informants, confessions. By the 2010s, investigators had another place to look: social media. Facebook, Instagram, messages, photographs, and posts. Things people sometimes uploaded, believing only friends and followers were watching. Police were watching too. Baker allegedly bragged on Facebook about Pina's death. The state claimed he even posted images of the victim. If true, it illustrates one of the biggest contradictions of street violence. The same reputation someone may believe protects them on the street can become evidence once detectives start building the case. Something posted for respect can end up printed on paper in the courtroom. Something said to impress friends can become testimony. Something uploaded in seconds can potentially remain available to investigators years later. And prosecutors believe Baker's own behavior helped connect him to Pina. At his May 2019 bond hearing, the state laid out its theory. Baker and the other Latin Kings were allegedly patrolling a little village looking for rivals. They spotted Pina. The vehicle entered an alley. Baker allegedly got out. He allegedly approached through a gangway. Shots were fired. 5 .40 caliber cases remained behind. Pina died at the hospital, and prosecutors claim Baker later talked about what he'd done. Judge Susana Ortiz ordered Baker held without bond. Once again, Lamar Baker was facing a murder prosecution. And I think that what we can learn from the story of Lamar Baker is this: be careful what you dedicate your life to, because eventually it's going to ask you to pay for it. When you're young and caught up in the streets, everything feel like it's happening right now. Right now, somebody disrespected you. Right now, somebody crossed into the wrong neighborhood. Right now, your homies expect you to react. Right now, you got something to prove. But the consequences don't operate on street time. A decision that takes 5 seconds can follow you for the next 40 years. And that's the trap. The streets convince young men that reputation is everything. That being feared means you're winning. That being willing to pull a trigger makes you powerful. But look at where that road can eventually lead: courtrooms, lawyers, county jail, prison, funerals, mothers burying sons, children growing up without fathers, and men spending the best years of their lives staring through steel doors. This has been another SN TV production. It's your boy, SN TV. I'm out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, you know what's going on, man. That's pretty guys, man. Fuck cops, fuck the cops, man. I'm just waiting for all these people to wish me bad luck, to wish me death, to wish me in jail, to wish me in prison, to wish this bad on me, man. Matter, man.
Go ahead,
man,
go ahead.
Man, you know what's going on, man. That's pretty guys, man. Fuck cops, fuck the cops, man. I'm just waiting for all these people to wish me bad luck, to wish me death, to wish me in jail, to wish me in prison, to wish this bad on me, man. God bless y'all, man, because I know for a fact when a motherfucker go home, a lot of y'all lads doing that when the motherfucker behind this wall, or motherfucker in jail. A lot of people wish bad upon a person because why? Motherfucker always have bad intention. They envy you. That's little shit in life, man. I'm always, like I told the motherfucker, I ain't never going to be the king of the chess, but I'm going to be the pawn. And I'm always going to grow up and do what I need to do to move forward in life. See, people be goofy. They always step backwards. I got one foot in, one foot out. Best believe, though, get that line, and you fuck around and find out what side you going to be on. But look, though, man, you already know what the fuck going on, man. It's EBK, man. EBK, man. I got one jewel that's always with me, man. I dropped the whole box of jewels, and I picked them all up. and sunk in this knowledge, man. Y'all bitch ass niggas hating on me, flies on them, phone them out there hating on gang now, phone them out there hating on phone on. I just don't get this shit, gang. First off, man, y'all need to get it how y'all live. Get some bread, man. Stop being fucked up. And after stop playing shit and stop killing each other over these hoes, man. These hoes ain't gonna kill them over each other, short. They ain't gonna be doing no, ain't gonna be killing each other over no dick. Fourth grade, so they dick them hoes down, pass it to the squad. That's what happens in life, my nigga. On fourth grade will come with this shit. Your bitch gonna fuck. Your bitch gonna be out there doing the deep. It comes with that shit, my nigga. But like, hey, look on Wells, man, the free phone number, man. Free all the phone number, man, on Gino, man. It's 2023, man.